Vadd here, and welcome to E-Dragons in Legends League. We're going to hit a lot of different bases, and we're going to have a better understanding of how E-Dragons work, why they can triple bases in Legends League if you keep watching till the end. We're going to funnel with our heroes. I like to put the yak on the queen to get her breaking into the base, and I oftentimes will put the owl with the king to get some chain damage into the base. Even if the owl's hitting that wall, we're still getting some value. And then I put the unicorn on the royal champion. That may seem a little odd, that kind of hero pet combination. We'll look at it a little more as we get into this video. Just know that I like to funnel with the heroes. We need to bring no less than 6 E-Dragons and no less than 6 balloons. We're also, of course, bringing the Stone Slammer, and we're going to put our Warden with the main kill squad. With that setup in mind, it's also important to know there's only 2 skills in Clash of Clans that really matter, no matter what attack you're doing at what level of play. And that is your spell timing and placement and your funneling. Your ability to triple with E-Dragons is going to be massively deterred or massively empowered by your spell timing and placement. On this attack, the funneling isn't the hard part. It's pretty easy to identify where you want to funnel your troops, and your heroes are pretty strong. They can put a good funnel for you, but your spell timing and placement is pretty much going to make or break every single E-Dragon attack that you do. You can see on these ring bases, we pretty much smashed that one. Here's another tough ring base. This is another pretty common base. Look how compacted the buildings are on the outside of a ring base. And look where we're funneling in from. See how we came in opposite of the clan castle? You're going to see that a lot in these attacks. And you're going to see that ring bases just do really struggle versus these E-Dragons, because most ring bases have all their buildings grouped up. What's the real power of E-Dragons? They're slow, they're kind of tanky. It's the Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning can go up to 5 different buildings. Now each building it hits gets decreased damage from that chain. So it loses power as it chains into the base. But an E-Dragon can attack from 3 tiles away. So if we do the math, at most, we could get into the base 22 tiles from 1 E-Dragon attack. See how we brought the Royal Champion in late there? And the other attack we used at the funnel, and this one we used it to help push through the defenses in the Town Hall. Your heroes are really flexible except for the Warden. You have to have your Warden up to make this attack work, and you're going to lose some troop spacing if your other heroes can't help funnel into the base. That Chain Lightning, being able to hit 22 tiles into a base, is kind of impressive because that's almost half the distance of the length of a base. Now, you don't always get a great chain like that. Just know that the real power of the E-Dragons is their Chain Lightning. And to amplify the Chain Lightning damage and to help mitigate some of the slowness from the E-Dragons, we're using that Rage spell. You know, as of the current state of Clash, a maxed Rage spell gives you a speed increase of 30 and a damage increase of 180%. It's almost a flat 200% damage increase. That's a lot of damage, and even though we're raging the E-Dragon, that Rage bonus damage carries all the way down the chain of the E-Dragon. How about an island base? Can we hit an island base and still triple? The answer is yes, and these are even single target infernos. Arguably, those single target infernos are designed to deal with E-Dragons. Since E-Dragons are so slow, they have to boost up and build their damage. They sit in those compartments mostly by themselves. However, island bases are kind of trash, and we're going to crush this base. Why? Well, it's easy to funnel into. We just need to set a good funnel. You see how we used our Royal Champion on one side, and we put our heroes on the other side, and then the base pretty much just funneled straight into the core for us. Like, it just gave us a free Town Hall. Look how long into the attack our Stone Slammer stays up. In the Stone Slammer, you can bring any air troop you like. I've tried Lava Hounds, I've actually tried Ice Golems, I've tried Dragons, Minions, doesn't matter. Just make sure it's an air troop. I like to bring a few balloons and a dragon or a minion mix just to help clear up some of the back end. But you can see here, There's a lot left on the back end of the base, but with the chain value, we only need to like hit 2 of these buildings and they're pretty much all going to drop because they're all grouped up. You know, part of the struggle with those island bases are they use so much of their walls to create these like mini island bases that then there's all these high value targets for our chain lightning value. What about this kind of spread compartmentalized base? Where do you come in on this base? Well, we want to get maximum chain value. And remember, E-Dragons that chain cannot get more than 1 tile apart. So when things are spaced 2 tiles apart, they're not going to chain in. When we're using our rage spells, we're trying to rage into the base. You're really going to have to practice this. If you put the rage too far ahead of your dragons, they don't fly into it in time, and then it just sits there, and then the rage spell is just wasting time, not doing anything. And you put it too far behind your dragons, they're going to chain through, blow up half the base, and then they're going to turn around. See here how we use 2 of our balloons and 1 dragon on the left side just to set a better funnel. We could have used our heroes on that edge, but on the right side, our yak broke in and we cleared out enough of that compartment that I felt that we needed to adapt and we needed to get into this base, into the meat. We're looking for the thickest, juiciest, meatiest part of the base. We're not looking for value. We're not saying, hey, we need to take out those air defenses. We're not saying if we don't take out these expos, it falls. No, we're looking for where does our chain lightning chain to as many buildings as possible. Look at the late Royal Champion drop here. 2 reasons why. We're dropping it to get those witches away from our E-Dragons. I don't want to spend time wasted killing the skeletons, spawning again. Killing the skeletons, spawning again. And if we can get that air defense out, it's just a good target to take out the Royal Champion. Less of a, we need to push into the town hall, like a ring base a few attacks back, and more of just, there's 1 air defense left, we're using an air attack, we're coming into the back end, these witches could get a little bit in the way. You're going to need to be a little bit flexible with this attack. There's no one way to do it. The important thing to understand is where can I get the most chain value? How do I drop my heroes to create a funnel I like? Remember, if a clan castle only has ground targeting troops and you come with an air attack, they don't ever leave the clan castle. That's part of why we put our heroes down generally opposite of the clan castle. We're not afraid of the clan castle. We can steamroll through most of them. You always bring a poison spell. Come on, don't be stupid. But only 1, not 3. Whoever's bringing 3 should cut that out. Wink. Hey, seriously, E-Dragons can work. They can triple bases, but mostly you just see low IQ, kind of high percentage 2 stars with them because you see spammy troll drops. You can triple with these E-Dragons. You can triple in Legends League, which is arguably the highest level of clash in the just regular players. You're not playing with, you know, like the pro teams, right? But in Legends League, we don't get to see what the base is before we hit it. We have to show up and hit whatever the base is giving us. Here's another island base, and I love these island bases. Please, everyone, keep building them so I can just take your loot. This just saves me a lot of hassle, because look at the compartments in between the islands. They're always so grouped up. We get massive chain value. It's just dummy stupid to just go, where should I draw my troops? I guess we'll just go at the town hall since it's open and free. It's just that easy. What spells are we bringing? Well, we're bringing rage spells, we're bringing a poison, and some freezes. Those are the only spells you need. We're not worried about a heal. We have our warden ability. You know, that warden ability is a lot stronger than you think it is, because not only does the active warden ability make your troops completely invulnerable for, I think at the current state, max level wardens 8.5 seconds, but it also increases all of our E-Dragons health by 500 when they're in the aura around the warden. See, it has that big aura around it, and that applies to our balloons as well. So basically we're saying, hey, this is the tankiest flying troop in game. It's kind of slow, but it hits really hard, but its attack is slow. Let's make it even tankier. Let's give it a rage spell so it hits even harder and it moves a little quicker. We're saving a lot of our troops' weaknesses, but we're relying on how good are you at that rage spell. Do you know in the freeze things, you can rage right through those sweepers 9 times out of 9, but only if you saved a rage to use. You don't want to freeze a sweeper most of the time, but you can. You have options. You're going to need to be a little creative and a little bit flexible with this attack. Here's a base that you probably don't want to hit. It's got some kind of compartments to stop a ground attack from having an easy wall entry. It's got some weird places where you don't know if you were going to do a queen walk where your queen's going to path, but it has a lot of buildings nicely grouped up. Since Town Hall 12, the Town Hall started shooting back, And they not only started shooting back, they started having death damage, which is a really fun mechanic. And it means that a lot of bases in general of late have been trying to take advantage of that. They're designed in ways that they'll keep you around the town hall once the town hall goes down. You know, as a defender, you know that whoever's attacking your base, they want your town hall. So they've been designing a lot of bases in a way where once you take down the town hall, there's other buildings there to stay and fight. So you get maximum of that town hall death damage. And as an E-Dragon attacker, this is great because E-Dragons aren't going to stand around and attack in the same spot for very long. We're going to chain through things and then path around. And it makes pathing kind of tough to predict. Like, we have a max level air defenses of the current state of the game right now. When are our troops going to get there? It's going to depend on where that chain lightning goes. It can chain up to 5 buildings. And now the owl is going to be involved. Who's going to get to it first? Well, okay, it's going to be the E-Dragon on the right. You just don't know at kind of the back end of the attack, but it's full health. There's no way that E-Dragon doesn't just wreck it. Oh, look, we only landed 1 chain, but it was enough. We didn't need to ramp up and land a second chain. E-Dragons hit really, really hard, and this attack is looking like it's going to triple. Maybe there's a lucky black mine, maybe not. I have tried this attack with the blimp. I don't like the blimp. The blimp just goes straight at the town hall. It picks up way too much damage. It goes down way too early, and it doesn't tend to block enough troops to be worth using, and I can't always get it in my warden ability the way I want to. I don't like the blimp for this attack. I think the stone slammers are a lot stronger, especially since we can open up some wall compartments, which sometimes helps out our heroes. Look how compact this base is. If I had to attack this base on the ground, that's a lot of DPS to walk into, a lot of damage per second. No matter where I go, I'm stepping into at least an Expo, a Cannon, an Archer Tower, probably an Inferno and an Eagle. But as an air attacker, these E-Dragon chains are going to wreck this base. Something you should note if you're watching closely, how are we dropping the troops? We've been dropping a lot of the times 1 to 3 balloons, and then all the E-Dragons, and then the balloons, the Stone Slammer, and the Warden. Why are we doing it in that order? Well, if we drop all of our balloons first, and then our E-Dragons, and then our Warden, sometimes the balloons get pretty far ahead of the Warden, and they go down early. If we drop just a balloon or 2, we can sometimes get lucky and catch a black mine, and then we drop our E-Dragons, which are kind of slow, and then we put down our balloons, and then our Warden, and then everyone's not just in the Warden's life aura, but a lot of the times we actually Warden right at the start of the attack. We Warden so early, it seems like the most ridiculous thing you've ever done. It's the opposite of what you should do with the Warden. 9 times out of 10, you're really going to have to practice this and get a little more experienced at when you should be using your Warden ability, because the Warden's a big part of this attack success. Think about it. We funnel into the part of the base that's the thickest, the most meat. We're going to get lots of chain lightning value. Okay, that's good. Now what? Well, generally the part that's thickest in the base with the most value also does the most damage. So we're wardening using that invulnerability early, because the longer our balloons can stay up in front of our E-Dragons, the less damage those E-Dragons take, and the more we can... You like that unicorn switch to save the Warden? That was pretty much the most clutch play of this attack, by the way. Those balloons stay ahead of our E-Dragons. They're actually a lot faster than the E-Dragons. They can't outrun the chains, but they're going to get ahead of the E-Dragons. Sometimes we put them all down right at the beginning. We go all of our balloons, then our Wardens. You play a little bit by ear. Sometimes you're just going to have a little bit of a feel for it. There's no one way that's better than another way. It's base specific. Some bases have a lot of defenses on the edge, and we know our balloons won't get too far ahead, and we want them to tank. See here, we put down the E-Dragons first. We know that most of these buildings here are storages, they're not defensive buildings, and I don't want my balloons to get up to that queen and that air defense without being not only in the Warden ability, but with my E-Dragons there to blow her up. So, you know, in earlier town halls, you really have to worry about defending heroes because they do a lot of damage, they're kind of tanky. One raged E-Dragon chain almost kills every hero in one shot. 2 or 3 of them under a rage, the heroes drop. You know, that queen went down fast. There's a tornado trap, and we still have most of our balloons. A lot of the times we use our freezes and our rages not to take out sweepers. We're using our rages to path our troops in the second half of the attack. Once you've seen the first half, you kind of understand, okay, here's how I set my heroes the funnel, here's the part of the base I should be targeting, here's when I should put down balloons and E-Dragons, here's when I need to get my Warden in, here's why the Stone Slammer. The second skill you need to pick up is, how do I get through the second half of the attack when all my troops are out? Now what? And that comes down to knowing when to rage and where. And remember, this E-Dragon chain up to 5 buildings. So if you rage correctly in kind of the middle of the attack, the base gets destroyed. If you rage incorrectly, you die. It's just that simple. And take a look at this base. This is a tough base. It's pretty compact. So it's going to get us lots of great chain value, but it's kind of a teaser base, kind of a troll base. We have all these kind of single target infernos, and then, you know, multiple expos, heroes, clan castle on the bottom. It's just kind of a tough base. Look at how we're going to put down the rage spells, and look at how early we do the Warden ability. Nothing's really targeting us when we get this Warden, and we almost get a bad split. Look at the next rage spells and the freeze spells. What are we freezing? Well, they made a mistake. They left a spot where we could put our heroes down next to their town hall. Embarrassing. It's really a trolley base. Stop building these trolley bases. They're trash. I don't know why everyone keeps building them, but you left an open spot next to our town hall. We just put down our Barbarian King and took it. Now this base is kind of wrecked, but we got a bad split. But we still have, look at that rage. Look at the chain value from that rage in the bottom. Look at these freezes. We have enough freezes that there's no way that all those buildings all grouped up are going to be able to stop us. What about the top edge? Well, we still have another freeze for the Royal Champion, and I wish we had a hero pet up like Lassie. That would be nice to tank for the Royal Champion. Hey, not to get too off track, we don't have all our pets. We don't even always have max troops in these attacks, and we're just smashing bases. This was my first attack of Legends League in this recent season, and it went pretty well as far as I'm concerned. I mean, generally speaking, 3 stars is good. I mean, maybe these storages are going to slow us down. I mean, you know, that's going to happen. Freeze spells have 5.5 seconds of freeze right now as of the current state of the game. Think of that in your head. 5 seconds is a long time for nothing to be able to damage you. It's not a good idea generally to freeze sweepers because the time it takes for the E-Dragon to fly over there and then to ramp up its lightning, you know, you can see the lightning travel up its back and then shoot out. The sweeper can unfreeze. But freezing defenses like these multi-target infernos or these scatter shots or wizard towers to keep the balloons alive isn't a bad thing to do. The power of this attack is the E-Dragons, and the skill of this attack is in your spell placement. You can use this on any base. It's not going to triple every base, but you have a really good shot at tripling, and mostly because you have a lot of control over this attack. A lot of attacks, you kind of put your troops down and then you go, well, I hope they do their thing. Well, with this attack, we can use our spells to pick where we want our troops to go. And that's really strong. That gives us a lot of options as an attacker after we have started the attack to adapt. This attack looks like it's gone wrong because, you know, our heroes are going down. We've triggered the clan castle. We don't want to do those things. On the other hand, it's actually going really well for us. I know getting the town hall is good, but the entire base is still up. And we've used a lot of our heroes. Where are we going to do? This time I was trying out Lava Hounds, and I don't like them. I think you can try them just to bring 1 or 2 to soak some black mines, but a good Warden ability and proper rage spells are more valuable. You see that chain value we're getting on those E-Dragons? That rage change value is absolutely shredding this base. It kind of just melts. And we're deliberately splitting our troops here. Almost, right? We put a rage right in the middle. If you put a rage in the middle of your troops, they're going to chain value kind of straight down it and then go around. And I don't know where they're going to split here. And that's okay because the meat of the base is in the middle. If I wanted them pushed into the center of this base, I would have dropped my rages kind of on the edge of the troops to try and force them to fly towards the buildings left in the middle of those 2 rage spells. But here, the meat of the base was still in the middle of the base, and it's looking pretty smashed. Did you think this was how smashed this base would be when you saw the opener? It wasn't a good opener. I know, we got the town hall. I understand that concept, okay? But 99% of the base was left. And we had a freeze spell left over. We not only had a freeze spell left over, we have almost every single E-Dragon we started with. This base is not just kind of wrecked, it's absolutely smashed. Here's another base. This would be a base I would not want to attack from the ground. You could do it. It's possible. It's got some tricky parts to it. Where would you funnel into this? You've seen a couple of hits now. Where would you come into this base from? Would you have picked this angle? Here's the blimp, and we're going to try and eliminate some pathing. If you're going to use the blimp, you want a blimp for pathing or blimp for value. You have to make that decision before you drop the blimp. I don't like having to figure that out in advance. I think the Stone Slammer is a little more valuable. I just want to show that it can be done, but you're sacrificing the power of this attack by bringing Lava Hounds, because we're not really worried about Black Mines. With a good Warden ability, it just doesn't matter. And I don't like the blimp because we don't really worry about pathing because we can rage our way into the base. I think the Stone Slammer just creates more value for those E-Dragons. Its ability to absorb damage and keep on moving to the base is impressive. I mean, right now, a max Stone Slammer has 6,500 health points. That's a lot. Put that in some perspective. You know, a Golem has 8,000. You know, it's essentially a flying Golem. But those E-Dragons, you know, they're sitting on right around 4,800 right now. I mean, they're pretty tanky. So to get another, you know, extra tanky flying unit out in front of them, that's good for them. Because the more things we can get in front of our E-Dragons, the more times they can load up their chains and blast through the base. This base is smashed, and it wasn't that hard to do once we picked our spot. As soon as you can get better at identifying where to put your E-Dragons down, how to funnel them into the base, where are they going to go once I got them over the first bit of the base, this attack's going to make a lot of sense to you, and it's going to be maybe your new favorite air attack. I'm not saying that E-Dragons are overpowered. I don't think they are. Here's a weird base. It's almost an island base, almost a ring base. There's just weird pathing we could get in a lot of different places in these compartments. Some of them are a little open, a little closed, but this time we're definitely putting our balloons down in front of our E-Dragons. We're going right in the damage. Look at this early Warden. You know, that Stone Slammer I said has over 6,000 health, right? And now it has 8 seconds of invulnerability. How much damage are we taking out? Now, we activated the Town Hall. We don't care. That thing's going to go down fast under all those grouped up rages. I'm pretty sure it's wrecked. Oh, we're coming into a sweeper. We're probably in some trouble here. Probably not. Look, they're just now starting to target the Stone Slammer, but the base is half gone. Okay, so we got stuck over the Town Hall. I don't want to take all the damage from the Town Hall. Those max Town Halls absolutely shred. You know, their DPS is sitting around, I think it's the hardest hitting building in the base. Right now, damage per second at a max Town Hall 14 is 300. So it's a lot of damage, so I froze it. Now, if I didn't freeze that, what would I have done with the freeze spell? Well, maybe I would have worried about a sweeper or an inferno. No, the Stone Slammer was still full health more than halfway into the base. If I'd been using a blimp here, it just would have dropped by now. At the end of the day, we're not worried about the clan castle troops if we pull them out in the middle of the attack, because a lot of the times they come out of the clan castle and they just eat E-Dragon chains, and that's fine. We don't care. The more things we can chain off of, the better. If we pull them out too early into the attack, it can really make our pathing a little confusing. It can really be hard to determine where we're going to path into this base. The attack is kind of slow on the back end. You feel like you're not going to triple. You're like, there's not a lot of time left. They're pretty slow. But since every building dies in one hit, it's almost never a time fail. More likely you had a funnel fail, or you misplaced your rage spell and you pushed your troops the wrong way, and then they walked into damage they weren't ready for. You split up your killers and then you failed. Time fail is never an issue with this attack. It's more an issue if you've messed something up at the beginning. Otherwise, it's a fast attack. Here's kind of a weird base because it's super spaced out, but if you're an E-Dragon attacker right now, you should just be jumping for joy. Where's all the meat? Where do you want to hit this base? On the thick side. Who cares the town hall's on the other side? Who cares where the clan castle is? Who cares about sweepers? All I'm thinking is, where can I get the most chain value? It's right here on the right side of the base. Literally, all of the air defenses, the scatter shots, the infernos, the eagle. Thank you. Thank you whoever designed this base. This is probably a free triple if we don't mess it up. Look at our heroes, how we put them down the funnel. We used 2 of our E-Dragons to funnel in even tighter. We wasted 2 E-Dragons to set up a good funnel. That's 60 spell space, not counting 2 of our heroes used only in the funnel as well. That's a lot. And look at our Stone Slammer's health. a lot of the times the Stone Slammer opens up halfway into the attack, and most bases are not designed to survive a Stone Slammer all the way into it. Look at this. The base is what, 90% of the way gone, and now the Stone Slammer opens up? Yeah, this base is wrecked. Try E-Dragons. They're a lot of fun. They're not nearly as easy as they look. Don't think you can just spam drop them in triple bases. You can spam drop them in 2-star, and I hope you feel good about that. But if you want to triple, you're going to have to practice them. You're going to have to improve your spell timing and placement. And there's a little bit of a learning curve. Don't think that you can just drop these troops and call it a day. You can, but you're not going to triple. I really hope you enjoyed this video and help you out. And until next time, please. If you learned something or enjoyed this video, share it with a friend. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. If you have joined and enjoyed before, welcome back. If you would like to see more quality content, please consider joining me in supporting the channel through Patreon and utilizing the affiliated links. Thanks!